Rip it and rip it. Hi, friends. How are you doing? How's it going, Fruity? How are things? I slept for shit. Hi, Emmy. Hi. I'm sorry you can't hear, but welcome. Hopefully the captions kinda work. I don't expect them to, but that's an option. Howdy, friends. I have a big fuck off teacup for my soda today. Like you do. Okay, good! Okay, good. Not new mug. It's an older mug. It's one Allie gave me. It's got octopuses on it. It's a little tentacle cup. We love it. It's great. Yeah, I'm trying not to spill. No promises, but I'm trying not to spill. It's oddly shaped, so it's hard to drink from, but I love it. But because it's, right? Look, I have to put my soda in something, right? You can't just drink it out of the can anymore. We have been blessed with so many... Sorry, I'm, like, moving things around. We've been blessed with so many good mugs and cups. I gotta use them. And the only thing that I will use them for is my soda. Because I got big juice for my water. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. But, yeah. Hi, friends. How's it going? How are we doing? How are things? Why is this coffee I'm drinking spicy? It's not big juice for my wife. That's incorrect, captions. I don't know. Did you put something spicy in your coffee? Hey! No! We are not doing that. Get out. Go. Oh my god. These cats are gonna be the death of me. Hey. You are fine. Oh my god. These cats, though. They have been so uppity because I had to move everything last night. They're just cranky and angry, and they need to stop. So that's the general state of my nonsense. Hey, Travis, welcome in. Just in time to watch the cats, like, freak out about everything. For now. They're not sprinklers. For now. Anyway. I am also tired and cranky and in pain, but it's fine because we got some My Lovely Daughter here. We're gonna do some murders, and that makes everyone feel better, right? Gonna do a murder. Feel like this is very quiet in comparison to how it usually sounds, so I'm gonna turn it up. And hopefully that's not too loud. But if it is, let me know. Who's that? Get ready for an adventure! An adventure? What kind of adventure? Well, the old man from the material shop always has his memento with him. The best that I can do is give him a very tiring job in an ancient tomb to ensure that he will need your help. All you need to do is assign a homunculus that is comfortable around ancient tombs to steal his memento. Like a zombie? Like my zombie? Mummy! I forgot there was a mummy. You're right. You're right. That makes sense. I genuinely forgot that we had a mummy. So 2 meat and a clay. Dougie Buse. I'll change it. I'm gonna change it because everyone always tries to type just Dougie. Give me just a second. I'm gonna change that command. I was trying to follow the usual... There you go. It is now just Dougie. I tried to follow my usual... No, it's now just Dougie! No! Fruity! Also, captions. It's not donkey. It's Dougie. I don't know how much more I can enunciate. Please. Not donkey. No! Y'all are monsters. Genuinely and truly. It's now just Dougie. Please. Please. Y'all are terrible. Actually terrible. Oh! No, okay.
Excuse me? Mommy?
There
Sorry.
you go.
Mommy? Sorry.
Mummy?
Sorry.
Sorry. Mummy? Sorry. We've done murders recently? Who do we have? We got Fearful Candide. We've got... Oh! I was like, what the fuck is that name? True Gerald. That's True Gerald. Not True Gerald. Fruity, please. Please be nice to me today. Please. Okay, which one of these is a higher level? Neither of them. They're both level 1. Hey, it's just Dougie. Name's just Dougie. Flame is at level 2. Thank you, Fruity. No, it should be fine. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm super just grumpy and not feeling great. But I want to be here and I want to do streaming and I want to hang out with my friends. Everything just sucks, you know? It's fine. It's fine. I mean, as fine as anything can be. I guess let's... Sucks because she's only level 1. We gotta do a sacrifice on Buttercup. Goodbye, Buttercup. We've seen your death before. I figure, generally speaking, whichever one we make for the Inquisition is gonna be the lady that dies first, you know? So we need a mummy. That's 2 meat and a clay. 2 meat and a clay. We need to buy more meat. Ooh, hiccups. Clay? Clay? Spam messages on my phone? There's our mommy! What is the next name on our list? This is extremely unfortunate. Because the next name we have is Murderbot. Y'all have been... Do we want capital B or just lowercase b? Do lowercase b. You have given me enough names to last maybe half a sit-down session. It's Murderbot, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love True Gerald. I think Candide is gonna be the next one that we sacrifice of our main ones. Because we have 2 Fearfuls right now. That's not great. Next week is gonna be the week that we can do a sacrifice, though. That's gonna be great, because we do need to kill some Fearfuls. Hi, Ella! How's it going? How are you doing? Arya's body is totally fine. Alright, let's do our work. Let's go! We're doing alright. We're getting through it. You know. I forgot we had requests that we were fulfilling. Nice! Nice! New interaction. You've been coming out of your house often of late. I presume you have something up your sleeve? I felt something dark brewing up on your hill. Remember, birds of a feather flock together. You can always tell me what you're after. You do not need to worry. I can take care of it myself. Mind your own business. Hello, Panda. How's it going? So many friends right now. How is everyone? How are y'all doing? Okay, we gotta get... I read fronds as frogs for a second. I was like, "Ella, what?" Let's send Murderbot off. Currently writing Christmas cards. Cute. Frog, haha, frog. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna send Murderbot off to do the job that she needs to do. We gotta make sure that Candide works a lot. Because we need her up in levels, like, desperately, so that we can do a murder on her and properly do a soul ritual. Sadness, we don't have any of those. Please, game. Anger? Oh, at least the end is in sight. You'll be able to play soon. That's very exciting. It sucks that you have to wait, but soon. Mid-quality meat? Do we have... We have high quality and low quality. Gotta get her properly exploited before you kill her. Are you capitalism? I am. We are also really low on meats. It's true. That was something that I wanted to do. We've got lots of gold, so we can do it. Got Sacrificial Doll for the Totem of Maturity, the Mask of Prosperity, doubles the money the owner gains. These are nice to have, but we don't need them. Arby's? Okay. Added. Y'all are wild with these names. But again, the game is there. It's gonna be up soonish? Soon-ish? By the end of the day, right? So that's pretty exciting. 8 hours. It's about, yeah. We're in the same time zone. Both Central Buddies. Okay, I think we have enough supplies. It is, 8 hours is a long time to maintain a high, it's true. But, again, consider today is the day. And that's pretty exciting. I want 6 of all of these treats. At least, well, 5 of these more expensive ones, I suppose. And then maybe go back and buy 6 of them? Okay. Drink water, take a nap, do an art. Consider. Things to do. Blood of the Unborn. Mirror of Mimicry. Well, there you go. Streaming will be a good way to kill some time. I do want to get a couple of these these dolls for our Totem of Maturity. I like our ladies leveling up faster. Didn't want to actually talk to you. I just want to find somebody who wants a fearful daughter. None of you do, so True Gerald's gonna work for you. And we don't have any mid-quality meat, so that's not gonna happen. Neat meat! You wanna work as a restaurant chef? or work with the restaurant chef as a cheery singer. Yeah, go for it. Get on it. Flame print there. Let's go. Look at that. Candide is level 2 already. Great. What do you need? High quality wood. I think we have that. We have mid quality. You still want that mid quality meat. That's not gonna happen. Mid quality water. High quality wood. We don't have any of this. We have none of what they want. I have mid quality water. High quality wood? I don't think that's gonna happen. Mid quality wood. Mid quality clay. Please. We do have mid quality wood and we have mid quality clay. Let's do that then. I'm not really, like, pressed for money is the thing right now. So it's fine if we're not, like, getting everything that we need. Let's go ahead and put her in there. This is great, because Candide is already level 3. I'm very happy about that. Which means, when we do a murder, it's gonna be great. This guy is greedy to the core. His precious memento is a set of crooked dice. All of his memories reflect how greedy he has been in life. He's a small fry now, but he might become dangerous in the future. He stays on the watch list for now. Ooh. Okay, let's do the request before I forget about it. Everyone has letters for us, and there's someone at the door. What do you have? What task do you have now, Mr. Inquisitor? What? No chit-chat? No, we're not friends. You're my employer. You should be nicer to me. Think that I'm the only friend you have in this filthy town. Tell me the task so I can move on with my work. There will be a fire next week. I need your homunculus to be ready to cool that fire down. See you next week, Faust. We got an ice lady that we could make. Hold on. Let's do... Whoa! Murderbot's already level 7! Great! Great! We have seen that death scene before. Let's get her out of here. And then Candide has to go too, but let's look at her letter first. Hello, Father. I was feeling so down today, plodding along, thinking about how the heavy burden of my shell is like the heavy burden of life. Then a dog started barking, and I was so afraid I pulled myself into my shell. Now I know my shell is my refuge. Oh, my sweet, fearful baby. Well, it was nice knowing ya. She looks innocent, but Faust knows that she is a heartless crustacean that eats anything and sometimes trashes his house. Faust takes a mace and hits her until she breaks apart, or until her shell breaks apart. Well, unfortunate. She gave us, like, no affinity whatsoever. That's a bit of a problem. Hello, old man. You got lucky. I'm your smartest girl because I have more than one brain. I'm independent, and I do not need my sisters. All of my friends are already on my head. I do not need you either, and I only do what you ask so I can stay here. Okay, True Gerald. Yeah, this game, it's great. I love this game. You just make homunculi, and then you slaughter them so you can bring back your daughter. Sounds like she was shellfish. Travis. Hello, Daddy. I'm so clean and shiny, so different from this dirty little town. Different from even from this old house. I like that I bring light to a dim place, but I wonder why I'm here. Do not feel like I belong in this place. Neat, you definitely do not, but I love you. So you get to stay around for a little longer. Hello, old man. From the moment I was born, I knew that I was special. You're lucky to have me. All you need to do is fulfill all of my demands, and I will finish my jobs better than anyone else. Be grateful, old man. Thank you, Flameprin. Thank you. You're... I don't want to get rid of True Gerald, but I do need... I need that boost. Granted, I don't need all of them up, but it would be nice if I could get it to at least 130, but I don't think True Gerald would get us to... Did I say 130? I meant 300. You're at 635. I'm gonna burn some chocolate to bring down the anger a little bit. Because you have to have one affinity that's higher than all the rest, right? So joy will be our highest one. We just won't get a better view of what anger needs to be, I think? I'm concerned. Because the last time we did a ritual, it didn't really do anything for us, right? Also, what do we have to do here? Homunculus needs to be ready to cool a fire. The only one I can think of is our ice homunculus. But I don't know that she would work. Because we don't really have any others that are just like water. Yeah, I think we'll make the ice one, which is just oops all water. We can make her a fairly high... She's a joy, isn't she? Sorry, I need to double check. Where is she? Anger. Okay, then I'm not gonna use our like really good quality ingredients on her. It'll just be low grade. It's fine. Oh boy. Okay. We're in that section of names that's just gonna suck for those of us in the know. All your daughters are delighted when you snuff them out. Absolutely. They love it when I do a murder on them. Who wouldn't be pleased? It's definitely not great. Don't have anything for mimicry. How is she doing? 70. We should treat her. I want to try the ritual, but I'm so scared that we're not going to get any of these. Like, we're not going to narrow them down at all. Because we don't have enough fear, but like... But please? Hold on. Can I... We have space for one more homunculus, right? Who do we have that's a fear that I have high quality ingredients for? Potentially spiky. 2 wood and a clay. Don't have any high quality wood. That one, potentially, we could do. We could make a little scarecrow one. Because we have some high-quality clay. I think. I could use all of the high-quality clay that I have. And then a regular... We're gonna do it. I don't know that it's gonna be worth it, but we're gonna do it. Use... Hi, Luna! How's it going? I'm not... Since we're just immediately... You know what, that's fine. Since we're immediately killing this one, I'm just gonna leave the default name. And then we're gonna come in here, we're gonna do a murder. Immediately. How's it going, Luna? How are you doing today? Great. That gets us the affinity that we need to do our ritual. Let's try to infuse this soul. I just got the achievement Beginner Infuser. We've infused the soul. Tried to infuse the soul 5 times. Working hard on one screen, chilling on the other. I'm so glad that you've gotten a second monitor, honestly. I imagine that's made life much easier. Please. Let's go. Let's go. Soul, let's go. Girl is alive and well, however, it seems that her mind is divided into several consciousnesses, all of which vie for control. She constantly appears to be arguing with herself. Baby! She even passes out at times when her alter ego's conflicts peak. Even when awake, talking with her proves difficult. Her response is completely unpredictable. It makes Faust feel like he has multiple daughters at once. It's probably all the homunculi in the back rooms. Faust comes to consider the experiment a failure. He extracts the soul from her body and puts it back into the soul chamber. You've not missed anything. We're just trying a new experiment. Obviously, it hasn't worked. I just managed to get enough soul essence for each section to narrow it down a little bit more. This is great. We have made progress. Okay, so we need to be in the range of 579 to 879 for joy, 485 to 785 for sadness, 372 to 672 for anger, and 397 to 697 for fear. Okay. There is such a thing as too high. This is accurate. These are all, like, pretty... I know we had to have one of them that was higher than the others. So from the looks of it, it's looking to be like that's either joy or sadness. And we need to keep anger and fear potentially on, like, the lower side of things. This helps, though. This has narrowed it down substantially. That's great. You love to hear it. Okay, we do have space for one more homunculus, though. We've got an anger, we've got a joy, and we've got a fearful. We do need to make a sadness one, which... We were also working our way through all of the water combinations, weren't we? So we did water and meat. We did meat and metal. Water and metal. Water and wood. Water and clay is the only combination that we haven't tried yet, right? So we could start doing those. And then from there, we can make whichever daughters we actually want to have. So what is 2 clay and a water? A Jiangxi? She's precious. I like her. This is going to be Borky. This is Borky. She's a joy, though, and that is a bit of a problem. It's a bit of an issue. Let's just go ahead and... Hi, Arcade. You have made it to the daughter naming simulator. How's it going, friend? How are you doing? What is True Gerald? True Gerald is fearful. So, almonds. Too bad. We do need a lot of joy, so this is great. It's true, we do get through daughters very, very quickly. We've already gone through 2 today, as far as names were concerned. 3, excuse me, because we just named Borky. I've got 8 names on our list. So, we gotta start getting some more. So yeah, I'm not too upset about having a joyful daughter. Neat Meat is getting ready to go on the chopping block, though. I think at this point we should probably wait until any of the main 4 that we have are level 7 or higher. But yeah, we shall see. She's joyful, so she wants candy. Get out of here, bug. Get out of here. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. It's all fine. You're angry, so you want chocolate. And you are also angry, so you also get chocolate. Great! Do we get Twyla as a name? Not... Please, no! I don't want to kill Twyla. Travis, how could you suggest such a thing? I mean, that's up to y'all. You can do it. Just know that I don't approve. We love you, Travis, but oof. Oof. Okay. So we've got ice for the Inquisitor, and then we've got some of the ones. Twyla daughter sounds horrifying. Not for long, please. Daughters don't hang around for very long. We'll go ahead and say that now. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Did I do... I did. Let's go ahead and fill this up, I suppose. This is pretty much what I'm going to be spending my money on. Everything here is taken care of. It's time to start the work week, right? Yeah, let's go. Let's go, let's go. I'd like to name an eventual daughter Rorschach. We can do this. Let me add the name. Make sure that I am spelling it properly, because I never do. Fantastic. Good addition, Arcade. You keep coming here. Do you suspect something? You're much more fun than when you first moved to your new house and never went out. Now you act like you just went, you act just like when you were poor, pestering people door to door. Thank you. I will try being more fun the next time we meet. Meanwhile, why not try locking yourself in your room? I bet that could be a lot of fun. Faust is a bit of an asshole. Which, I mean, we knew. Oh, they do have to be less than 9, but I think that's fine. 1, 2... That just hits the cap. It should be fine. I forget to mention that there is a 9-character limit, but it's fine. That one works. It's all good. A lively model. Let's get Borky in there. Let's make sure to do ice. We'll just take out the vowels, otherwise that has been our go-to option. High quality wood. I don't have that, my guy. Do we have any sad ladies? No. Fear, joy, and anger is what we got. Joy. Let's get Neat Meat in there. Let's get Flame Prin. And... we'll put True Gerald there. Mid-quality water, high-quality water. Why do words look so funny when they're missing their vowels? They just look great. High-quality water. I have mid-quality water. Mid-quality meat. I have high-quality meat. Why does no one want what I have? Please. This is extremely unfortunate. I just want my daughters to work where they're good. Anger? Fine. Borky can go there. We need to buy some ingredients. We have enough wood. We have enough metal. We're very low on water. Let's buy some of those. I think we're good on preservative balm for now. And we do have plenty of gifts, although I will top us back off at 6. Kind of. Not quite, but close enough. Mid-quality iron. I do. Oh, I didn't click fast enough. It's fine. Can we? I need another fearful job. This is unfortunate when they don't give me the jobs that I need. Guys, if you were a homunculus daughter, what would your name be? That's a good question. Yours would be Twizzler! I mean, that's a choice. Reasoning behind it? Just cuz? I honestly would probably be True Gerald. That's just me. That's who I am. Anger. Travis would be Possum. Solid. Here for it. Just cuz. It works. I'm here for it. Like, if there was a reasoning, awesome. If not, awesome as well. Alright, let's get out of here. Glad that you succeeded. That woman unsettles me. It is odd that her memento is something recent. Usually it's something that someone has had for years. Yet I do understand that this blood-stained knife changed her life entirely. She now lives happily alone forever. She 100% killed her husband. Let us move on with our investigation. She might have murdered once, but she is no threat to Mahile Capital. Great. We got that owl hanging outside our door again. I think you need to learn from your next target. What do you mean by that? Temple will have hundreds of visitors. The occult leader will need a helping hand. You should be ready with a homunculus that has many hands. You know, if you were to become an occult leader, you too would have followers willing to do anything that you wanted.
Don't you want to become a cult leader?
Since the death of God, there's been a vacancy.
You could fill that void.
I mean... Hello, Papa. I feel different from the others. I cannot stop hopping around the house. I'm sorry that I broke some of your work utensils and furniture. I will fix them later. It's okay, Borky. We love you. Mickey. Hello, Daddy. I know it's hard to make my room cold enough, and I appreciate you so much for making me comfortable. It can be a bit lonely in here, so I've been making little figures out of the ice to play with. I made a knight, a lord, and of course, a clever father. Great. That's great, Mickey. I do have to do a murder on you because you are over level 7. Just so you know. Yikes. It's fine. Got 390. Does it glows once we're, like, within range, right? She was in anger? I think so. Okay, that's nice. That way I don't have to, like, fully pay attention to the numbers. Flameprin, you're over level 7. Neat Meat is over level 7. True Gerald is still fine. And Borky is only level 3. I think we'll make another angry daughter. Hold on, let's go ahead and get rid of Flameprin. Everything she touches burns immediately. She's the most dangerous of Faust's creations. He douses her with water and she vanishes into a cloud of steam. Shame. Okay, she's still, like, within range. And even if she wasn't, we can always feed gifts into the fire to bring the level down. So, like, if I were to put some chocolate into the furnace, the anger affinity would lose, I think, like, 100 points. So that's a good way to, like, keep things within the range that you need them to be in. But we do need... So we've got a happy, a fearful, and a joy. We do have to get rid of Neat Meat. She's over level 7. Yikes. Her golden hair, her titanium limbs. The girl is strong yet beautiful. But no, she cannot replace Faust's daughter. Kills her using an electric chair, tying her down with belts to combat her strength. Rip. I liked Neat Meat, but she gotta go. Alright. That leaves 3 spots open, which is great, because I think we can finish out the last of... Why does he have an electric chair? You don't? You don't have an electric chair just lying around? 2 water and a clay. Sorry, hold on a second. 2 water and a clay. What do we got? What do we got? Veggies! I love her. Anger's either a touch high or very close to it. It is very, I'm gonna say very close, because it's still glowing. But we can fix it later. This, according to our list, is art. That's art. She joyful? We have too many joyfuls now. This is a travesty. I'm sorry, Travis. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. Short for artichoke. So, hold on. I need to figure out which ones we haven't done. Inventory. Our base ingredients, right, are wood, clay, meat. Oh, I don't know why my voice is cracking there. Metal, and water? Is that right? Wood, clay, meat, metal, water. Okay. Which means that we would need to do... It's short for artichoke. That is very cute. It is very cute. I like the little plant ones. Like, tree was precious. Tree was precious. So we've done all of the base ingredients, right? There's wood, there's clay, there's meat, there's metal, and water. That's all of them, though, right? Because that's water and clay, water and meat. Hold on, I'm gonna do it this way. Not me having to make a freaking a little diagram so I can keep track of everything. This is fine. This is all fine. As long as I know that we've done, like, both combinations, then it's fine. So we've done... I've made this bad. It's fine. We've done, like, just wood, right? Wood is done. And we've done just clay. We've done just meat. We've done just metal. And we've done just water. She's not on this page, but I know she exists. We have done... These are fine. These are done and out of the way. Despair is a mix of all three. We don't have to worry about mixing all three because that just will always make a despair. We've done meat and clay. Do we have 2 clay and 1 meat? 2 clay and a meat. So meat and clay is done. Great. This is gonna take me a minute to figure out. Sorry, y'all. It's important that we figure it out, though. We have 2 wood and a clay. 5 pure daughters, 20 combined. I'm not sure if the disasters count. I don't think they do. Because they said that as if it's just a combination of 3 different ingredients, it will always make despair. So I don't think it matters if you try any of the various combinations of 3. It will always make despair. That's all combinations with what we have. Yeah. 2 wood and a clay, 1 clay, or 2 clay and a wood. Clay and wood is done. Great. Clay and metal. Clay and metal. Clay and metal is done. And then wood and metal. Wood and metal. I just want to make sure that we've, like, made all of them. I kind of expected to get an achievement for making all of them, but I haven't, I don't think. Yeah, I didn't get an achievement for that last one that we made, which seems wrong. Hate counting and math, that's why the study of it was invented. It's miserable. So wood and metal. Done. We're on to water. We have wood and water. Both combinations of that is done. Wood and water. Great. Water and metal. Water and metal. And then we've got metal and meat. Metal and meat. We've got meat and water. Did we not do... meat and wood yet? I thought we did. Meat and wood might be what we're missing. Clay and water. Yeah, those are done. Clay and water. It's meat and wood is what we're... right? Yeah. How did we miss? How did I miss that? Wowee. Okay, that would explain why we didn't get an achievement. So it's meat and wood, right? Yeah. So let's do 2 wood and a meat. I thought I was being so thorough. Making wooden stakes to kill the cottage cheese vampires. Aren't they though? I am in love with the art for this game. My sad little kitty baby. My sad little kitty baby. Not Mickey is next on the list. We can't kill Not Mickey. We can't. We can't do it. We have a happy, a fearful, a happy, and a sad. Okay. I love her. I love her. What was that? What was that one? What was she? 2 wood and a meat, so we need 2 meat and a wood. This beautiful baby. But what was I saying? I love the art for this game. I love the fact that there are as many daughters as there are. And they're all great. Why is she so cute too? Look at her. Who's this? Buttersip. This is Buttersip. Oh, no, many arms. That's fine. We have True Gerald. I was about to freak out for a second. She's also sad. Not Buttercup, because we had a Buttercup, and this was during the time when Fruity's like, I'm gonna type Buttercup a bunch of times, but with misspellings, because I think I had misspelled it a couple of times, because my hands don't work. We have Buttersip. That was the one that we just did, and the next one is Buttercuo. It's fine. Not Pog. Not Pog. Which one? It's ice cream, right? Yeah. Well, look at her little claws. I love her. Put them on my pancakes. Okay, let's go. Let's go. I love them. I love them. You're also sad? Yes. Yes, you are. But now you've been given a gift. A sweet treat. Candy for the happiness. And then almonds for the fearful. And more candy for the happy. Okay. I want to check to make sure that our totem of maturity is all full. Okay, and I think that's everything that we have to do now. So let's start working. Oh, I should probably check the state of our daughter's body. She's fine. We can wait until next week to put some balm on her. You know what? The creatures have helped me a lot. Even when they were only blobs moving around. So I'll tell you a secret. Hitting this metal reminds me of the day I bashed in the head of my wife and her lover. What blob creatures? I like how that's what Faust is concerned about. Not the fact that this man just admitted to murder. All my homunculi are like humans in shape. Well, it doesn't matter as long as he pays. No worries, my homunculi will always be ready to help you. I think we should be more concerned about what he just said than we are. I'm a terrible dad. It's true. It is true. We are bad dad extraordinaire. Anger? We have no angers. Everybody be murdering each other back in these days? I mean, it's true. We know at least 3 murderers here. It's just not It's not great. And it makes me, the player, very concerned for my sweet daughters. We gotta put shit. I forgot that Gerald needed to work for him. It's fine. We'll put Borky there. I don't have any angers. You're also anger. Mid-quality water. Mid-quality iron. We could do that. We could do that. I just want Gerald to be available. Please? Put sadness in there. High quality clay. I think I have that. Only mid quality. That's a problem. Oof. It's fine. Yes? For the occult leader. Yes, that is where you need to go. Because you got all those hands! Gotta use all the hands! Okay, this is... this is hard, not having all of the affinities that we need. Would love it if we had all of the proper affinities. However, we do not. So we gotta make do. Joy. None of you are usually joy. So I guess Borky gets to work in the fearful shop. It's fine. We should also purchase some items while we're here. 1, 2, 3. 1. We've got enough balm for now. Buy another totem. Okay. Great. You love to see it. I hope that she's been here for long enough. I am a little concerned about that. I just clicked on the same one. Sadness? We got a couple sadness babies. Take them. Go work, my darlings. This guy was quite a hassle. The occult leader has the potential to be strong, but he is held up by his shallow earthly desires. Such a shame. His memento shows me that he started because of what he thought to be a sign from the Celestials themselves. But now he only wants to be rich and famous. He's definitely staying on my watch list. His hankering for money and fame may well become a big problem someday. By the way, you're doing well so far. I'll be out of your hair after all my investigations are finished. These villagers, why are you targeting only the villagers I work with? Don't be so naive, Faust. They're not the only ones I'm investigating, and you are not the only friend that is helping me. Your capabilities are not particularly dangerous, but your house, there's something strange about it. Strange? What do you mean? Did something in my house trigger your ability? Well, the actual problem is not that I have been triggered. It's that it's the other way around. See, I feel nothing about you from your house on this hill. It's almost like something, or maybe someone strong, is covering something up. But I'm sure that I'll find a memento in your house. Possibly not yours, but I'm sure it will help to uncover your past. What are you trying to say? Nothing in particular, Faust. Simply that there is always unknown things happening in this world. You learn something new every day. But enough chit-chat. Most important thing for our relationship is the work. You help me and I help you. See you later, Faust. Okay, bye! It's definitely not great. We've, had better interior design before. Floor is well painted. Pet needs eat. Eat needs meat. Do you have meat? Only good meat. Yes, you can have some mid-quality. Go for it. Yeah. I mean, we might as well, right? Get that trust meter up. Okay, we haven't done everything yet, though, have we? Hi, Daddy! I'm so grateful to you. Grateful that you treat me so well. I know it's difficult to feed me when I cannot eat all the foods that you can. Veggies are all that I need. Okay, Art. Our outsides do not tell the whole story. I am a classy girl, and I will only eat classy cheese. These claws and whiskers may fool the lower-class townsfolk, but they are barely above the classless slum residents. Do not be like them. Okay, Buttersip. I love you. Dear Dad, I do not like being in the house. I hate my room. It's too close to you. I know you despise me. I know you hate to even look at me. But I work hard, even if life is so bleak. Someday you'll see that. Not Mickey! My baby! Our darling daughter. Please. Okay. Who do we... got? High quality iron. Yeah? We need to... Those are things not Mickey would say. It's true. Not Mickey is, not doing great. Also, the Murderbot series by Martha Wells is very good and should be read by all. Facts, though! If people here haven't read the Murderbot series, please do. It's delightful and wonderful, and it's fantastic. We gotta sacrifice True Gerald. It's gotta happen. I'm sorry, True Gerald. I do love you. She has a huge temper and argues with Faust constantly. Finally, the time has come and he stabs her. Still filled with rage, Faust chops off her tentacles and feeds them to wild beasts. Baby. Baby. Okay. We just need to increase sadness, which I think we're getting pretty close to being able to do a murder on some of these sad babies, which is very upsetting. We have 2 happies. I know I'm trying to wait until they hit level 7. Hold on a second. Still haven't made all of the homunculi? Which seems incorrect at this point, right? Because we've done meat and wood now. That should be all of them. That should be every combination possible. Was that 11 flips? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12? It's 12 flips. We've got 24 in total. Math is hard. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Who are we missing? Is it Arya? Is it our daughter? Yeah, Broken Daughter's in there. Right, I love these little aminals. Animal and rodent are perfect. So 2 missing? How many are we looking for in total? Fucking hell. 5 pure, 20 combinations. Okay. We've got the pures. That's fine, right? Wood, clay, meat, metal, and water. She's right there. There's the 5 pures. Maybe 4 brokens? We can try? The trouble is, I don't remember what combination we've done. Fuck. For the despair ones. Because it doesn't really tell us which combinations we've done. I think despair, like I said, I think despair is just that. Tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. I'm gonna look through the achievements real fast. I'm just gonna take a peek at the achievements. According to the collector achievement, we have to summon 100% of all homunculi type. We are missing 3. So there are 3 types that we haven't summoned. I'm gonna try... Because the first one that we did, where we messed up for a Despair Daughter, right, would have been wood, clay, and meat. Because we didn't really have metal or water available to us at that point. So let's do wood, metal, and water. I'm gonna write these combinations down, just so we know what we've done. We've done meat, clay, and wood. And now we're doing wood, metal, and water. And I'm gonna see if this increases the number, and if it doesn't, then we're not gonna worry about it. Oh no, what is wrong with her body? It's incomplete and fragile. Wait, I remember I should never combine 3... Yeah, no, we know. She's not inferior. We love her. Her abilities are quite limited. I doubt she could work as well as a normal homunculus. That's fine. Let me, before we name her... That did not increase the achievement. So Despair Daughters are not... They don't count. I'm not gonna name her anything because we're just gonna get rid of her immediately. Okay, but that was good science. We have done science. So... There has to be... Doesn't have to be another ingredient that we haven't tried, right? Because that would be too many combinations then, right? What have we missed? Iron water. Iron water. That was the Ataran? Ataran? I don't know how you say it. Like I said, scrolling through it, it looks like we've done everything. This is... Although she has a new name. We've got enmity, but then we also have despair? Where is she? So they're different failures, but it didn't look like it counted towards... We're gonna make all of them. We're gonna make all of the despairs. So we've done wood, meat, clay, wood, metal, water. We need... clay. That feels like too many combinations though, right? Clay, meat, metal? We're gonna have so many inferior but lovely daughters, it's true. I love them. I love them all so much. Some of them probably overlap, that's true. Okay. Let me do it this way. Would... Again, just making a quick diagram. Possibly. Probably. But I want to know now. Water, meat, clay, wood, metal. Okay. Not the cosmic weave. Please. Okay, so we've done... That's still so many options. We might have to, like... Clay, metal, water. That's loss. It's still not working though. Okay, maybe we'll just move on for now. I don't want to just sit here and like try and figure them all out, but also it bothers me that I don't know which ones we're missing and that we're only missing 3. I do need to make a different homunculus though. So we've got 2 joys, right? That's a problem. A sad... 2 joys and 2 sads. Really? We need to make an angry homunculus. Or... Yeah. I mean, angry or fearful. We haven't been able to do a lot of angry stuff lately, so let's do some angry. What does meat and water make? Because in real life, it makes a person. I think meat and water made a mermaid and or a person-looking thing. Meat and water. Meat and water. Meat and water. Here we go. Meat and water made a tentacle as well as a carapace. Got a sweet little octopus and a lovely little bug. Or I guess they really described her as a crustacean. Yeah, we got tentacle for mostly water. I loved both of them. They're all good. They're all good. Here's the thing. They're all great. We want an angry lady. I do miss Mud. Mud was great. So meat and water made lobster cage. Not lobster cage. Not lobster cage. Humans are mostly octopi and crustaceans, so it's accurate. We're all a little bit like an octopus. And a lobster, right? Crabs are inevitable. It's true. I need to make an angry lady. We gotta make ourselves an angry lady, right? We need... I don't know which one I want, though. I don't know which one I want, though. I did like our little flame. What is our next name? Butter Sue. Sio? Anger. Let's go ahead and make mud. Let's make a mud one. Oops, all clay. We haven't had one of her in a while. She's pretty cute. There she is! What a cutie. And her name is Butter Sio. Sio? Alright. And then that means it's time to work. Fruity. Thank you! Your help will never be forgotten. These plants see me without any preconceptions. They're not like those people who view others based on only on appearance. Did they judge you unfairly, hun? They judged me wrongly and sent me here. But I've learned to forgive. Plants do not hold grudges, so you should not either, okay? Damn those people in the city. They will regret sending us here. Borky wants to work here. Yeah, go for it, Borky. Have fun with that. I guess. Butter QO can go there. We don't have any fearfuls. Of course we don't have any fearfuls. Why would we have any fearfuls? Butter Sip can go there. And not Mickey. That's a fearful job, though. Fuck. Also fear. Oops. Doesn't matter. Gotta put them somewhere. Sorry, not Mickey. Don't want to put Art there because that's like the complete opposite of what her affinity is, so she'll go there. What do you need? Mid-quality meat? Do I have that yet? I do got some mid-quality meat? Oh. More mid-quality. I technically have enough to do that. Okay. Do we have mid-quality wood? No, we just have regular wood. We haven't used wood in any of our daughters lately. That's a bit of a problem. It's fine. It's all fine. No problems. Only fine. Get in there, not Mickey. Get in there, Butters. Yep. Go do the thing, Borky. We should buy some stuff. We have enough wood. We have enough clay. We have enough meat. We have enough of that. Okay. Luna, no. Oh, I didn't like that one. That was a little too far. It's true, but also, eek. Eek. Joy. We need some joy in here. It's okay. Just, we're gonna draw the line there for future reference. Please and thank you. Oof. Joy. I need these people to want happy daughters. I need them to want happy. Please. This is a little unfortunate, but that's okay because the week is over. This is week 3, though. We need to do a murder on our sad ladies. Also, let's make these happen. Great. Who is that? Hello, Faust. Do not mess it up this time. There will be an earthquake next week. Do not be afraid. It will only happen to the watchtower. Your friend has done his part to make this occur. All you need to do is make sure that you send a huge helping hand and then steal the guard's memento. Didn't we do that one? I'm pretty sure we did that one. So why are we doing it again? Guys, we gotta get rid of Not Mickey. I hate this. I hate this. Oh. Faust really disliked her appearance, but he endured, awaiting the correct time. Now that the moment has arrived, he wastes no time and stabs her through the heart without a second thought. Nate, hello and welcome! Long time no see. How are you doing, buddy? And there's our sadness. We're all ready for next week to do the infusion ritual. Did get some high quality meat, so that's exciting. Borky's almost ready to go. Art is not at all. Butter soup is almost ready to go. Okay, so we have a happy, an angry, another happy, and a sad. Maxing and relaxing. Nice. We're doing all right. Making things happen. Killing some daughters. Like you do. It's fine. But yeah, we're just hanging out, chilling. It's going well. We do need to make excuse me. We need to make Rock Lady. Right? So a clay and 2 metal. This is unfortunate because I am going to use a high quality or a mid quality metal. 2 metal and a clay. Fuck it. Let's use all mid quality ingredients. Might as well. We got spares. This is unfortunate. Vignant. So this is a game called My Lovely Daughters. You are a distressed alchemy dad whose daughter has died. Here she is. And we are trying to make a soul to infuse into her body to bring her back to life. But to do that, we have to make these lovely little homunculi daughters to raise, exploit, and murder in order to infuse the soul with different affinities. It's great. There are the content warnings, as per usual, if you do need to kind of look them over. This game's real dark. It's, as far as, like, the visuals are concerned, it's not terrible. We have played more violent games before, but the implications, the themes, very, very dark, very heavy. So just, hey, approach with caution. But that's the gist of things. We're just trying to bring our daughter back, while also working with an inquisitor to find some bad people in town. I've really enjoyed it so far. We got this book that kind of goes over everything. The current levels that we need the affinities to be at, which are joy, sadness, anger, and fear, we're narrowing it down to figure out what the best combination is for our daughter. We got a list of all of the homunculi that we have made. They're all precious and perfect and beautiful. Yeah, the town is also full of exiles. And the whole town is meant as sort of it is a town for exiles. You've been kicked out of the capital, this is where you're supposed to go. So everyone here is bad. We're all shitty people. Even if we don't all admit it. Yeah, hold on. We're gonna do some gifts for our babies. You're happy, so you get some candy. You are angry, so you get some chocolates. But yeah, each homunculi has a different affinity to it, which is, like I said, one of the 4 base emotions. So they're all you use them each for different tasks because they're better suited for some tasks than others. As well as, sorry, trying to do stuff while explaining things. Difficult. Cool, fantastic. So they gain experience at different levels depending on if you put them to a job that they are more suited for. We are also in an amnesiac, so we don't remember what's gone on, what's been happening. I guess we haven't checked this in a while, have we? We did read this, though. And we read this one. More. I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. Alright, so our next thing after meeting with the Warlock, and obviously some other things happening, the intensive training I received this week has opened my eyes to the uses of sorcery and alchemy. Today I made my first homunculus, a living creature born from alchemy, using only natural ingredients. The key is to focus the magical power inside those ingredients through a ritual using a symbolic circle. The homunculus can drive off pests, help with cleaning, and even be processed as raw material for food. I am planning to sell it for some hard cash. The best way that I have seen to describe this game, thanks to the Steam reviews, was it's the Full Metal Alchemist Simulator Daddy Edition. And, it's great. It's great. No children turned into, or combined with dogs just yet, but here's hoping. 725 for anger. Ooh, we do need to lower her a little bit. Okay, let's burn some chocolate. Fear is at 390. Fear needs to be a little higher. There is a cat daughter. You're correct. You are not wrong. We don't have any fear here. There. Look, a rat and a cat put together is basically like a dog, right? Oh, this is unfortunate. Speaking of rat daughter, I think I might have to do a murder on her so we can make a fearful to boost fear a little bit. Because it's at 390, and we need fear to be at above 397. Happiness, joy is at 335, and sadness is at 335. We need those to be much higher than they actually are. 579, 485. I think we can make that happen this next week if we get rid of Borky and Art. If we get rid of Borky at level 7, that should be enough to get cat daughter and rat daughter, but where is the hat daughter? Do we have one that could be vaguely hat-like? Potentially. What does sadness need to be at? 485. If we kill Buttersip, which is such a fun name to say, next week. If we kill Buttersip and Borky, we should be fine for Joy and Sadness. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of, want to name one Hattress? Alright, we can do this. Also, what is up, Angry? How is it going? We are gonna do a murder on Buttersip this week, actually. So let's go ahead and sacrifice our sweet little rat daughter. What? Not the cheese! Yeah. Faust was amazed to see that one of his creations had rodent characteristics. He's happy when it is time to kill her, poisoning her like any other rodent before. before feeding her soul to his daughters. My sweet baby. Thank you for the bubble arcade. You got snacks. Great. Great. I know. I mean, he's been happy to kill all of them, which is unfortunate, really, because they're all great. I love all of them. 485 for sadness, though. We are where we need to be for sadness. So Joy's the only one that we need to worry about. Fear, 390, 335. Fear needs to go up a little bit. Joy will be done by next week. I need to make a fearful daughter. Yeah, it's brutal. Yes! do the grip and rips. Speaking of, I should probably get more soda because I'm almost done with mine. And yes, I am drinking soda out of a teacup. Fucking fight me. I haven't done dishes yet. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, look at this great, hold on. I'm gonna move over here real quick. Look at this great teacup that Odd Moose gifted me. It's got a little tentacle. It's got a little tentacle, like, handle. The British are proud. I don't know, it looks like Fruity's kind of mad about it. Hi, Sam. Sam, I love you. How are you doing, Sam? Everyone's showing up. It was great. Doesn't it, though? Again, Odd Moose spoils me so much with lovely little things. Also, I don't know if you can kind of see him back there. There he is. Look at that big boy. Look at that big boy. I gotta show off my giant octopus. Look at him. I've had him for a while. This is not new, but he is out in the open now. And he's great. His name is John, and we love him. I'm glad you're doing well, Sam. I'm doing okay. We're making it through. But this boy, look at these tentacles. Look at these little. He's great and wonderful, and I love him. Big boy! We love the big boy. He sits right there. Hello, Lamia. Not the Octodilf! And then if I can just scooch this over a little bit. Look who it is! It's Llama! And she's like, I am going back to bed. Nope, Octodilf is a thing now. You've made it a thing. Sorry, Sam, those are the rules. You said it. It's fine. First it was the Dragon Dilf, and now it's Octodilf. Also, yeah, it's a baby. She's sleeping over there. I love your Void collection. It's very good. But hello, welcome in, friends. If I had a squid or octopus, I would call him Carl Thulu. That's a good name. That's a good name for an octopus or a squid. I'm just gonna show off all my weird octopus stuff now. Here, I've got this cool guy. It's a wet specimen. Don't magnify my hand, please. That's an octopus. He's cool. Just hanging out in there, in that little jar. Not my face multiple times. Oh, no. But he's cool. We like him. I also have just a tentacle. Just a little tentacle. Wet specimen. Because why not? I like octopodes. I like octopus. They're cool. They're my favorites. If we couldn't tell. If everything on my channel didn't give that away. I want to get more wet specimens, honestly. Dr. Octavius? I mean, I suppose. I suppose. Yeah, no, I want to get more wet specimens. And in general, just more, like, mounted creatures. I have a cow skull on my wall over there. I would show you, but I don't want to get it down, and I don't know that I can turn my camera far enough. But yeah, just a whole-ass cow skull that's got, like, flowers coming out of it. It's really pretty. I like it. You know what? No, fuck it. I'm gonna get it. I am gonna show everyone. You need to see my giant cow skull. Ugh. Oh, you are dusty. Here's this buddy. Here's this cool thing that I have. Hey. We like that. This is my jam. Oh, there's some sage hanging off. Right? I love this bud. He's very good. Hi, I have a lot of weird shit in my house. Okay, back on the wall you go, bud. There you go. This is all fine. Obviously, goes without saying, every dead thing I have in my house is ethically sourced. I just need to put that out there. But yeah, I got a lot of dead things. I like dead things. They're kind of cool. We think they're neat. What are we doing? Fearful daughter. Gotta make a fearful daughter. Gotta make a daughter who's scared. Just scared. What is our next name? Oh god, this is awful. Exclamation point Raod is the next one. So that's gonna be great. Let's make a scissor. Let's make a scissor. A wood and 2 metal. Let's get some wood and 2 metal in there. Actually, I am going to do the higher quality. Beautiful. You love to hear it. There's our new daughter, by the way. Not the Wallelujah. The very good Wallelujah. It's time to go to work. Huge hand. Did I make the rock lady? I did. Okay. It is a time to... I don't know what I was gonna say. But it was well timed for her birth. Excellent! With this, I'm going to be the big boss's right-hand man. Okay. Saw your eyes before. They used to glow with pride, but the day you lost your wife, it vanished. You continue your days, you keep innovating, but your eyes, they never glow anymore. You see, we're similar. The potion I stole from you did not heal my mother. She died, and now I am just like you. A guy with dead eyes. What? She died? What happened? I have to hide my surprise. Sorry, I need to go. My wife, I'm sorry. I mean, look. Faust, you wrote about her being deathly ill in your journal. We read that. Also, we gotta put Vicnant in there. Mid-quality wood, mid-quality meat. Do we got that? Mid-quality wood, mid-quality meat. We got that. Halfway lurking because I have a million deadlines, but I love you and I'm listening to you. Take care of. That's totally cool. Sam, you know we love you. Love you stopping in, saying hey, but we also appreciate a good lurk. You do your things. I'm happy to be some background noise for you. Don't mind the screaming and the crying every so often. That's just my daughters having a great time. Just enjoying life. Definitely not dying. It's fine. Right? Oop. It's all good. 1000% liking, but 50% listening. Makes sense. I understand. Do your thing. We'll be here. Raid. Go do your work. I have another joyful daughter and no one wants joy! Shmi. Hi! Hi, I'm here! You're here! We're all here. How's it going? How's it hanging? I saw that you finished the main story for Horizon Zero Dawn last night? Was it last night? Recently. I don't know what time is, ever. Congrats. Congrats! Well, welcome in, friend. How's it going? The DLC is very good. DLC's very good. Awesome. Well, I hope you're doing well. Oh, I'm clicking out of here real quick because I'm gonna do a shout out for you. Assuming I know how to type. But hey, thanks for stopping in, checking out what's going on. If you people don't follow Shmi, they're very fantastic and wonderful and just a delightful human being who is just amazing and wonderful, does a lot of variety content, and is very lovely. Go check them out. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. No, you're delightful. We're all delightful here. But yeah, hey, welcome in. I think I have mentioned it before, but I mostly do horror content. Today's game, definitely a little intense. So, if you ever need them, a thing that I do on my channel all the time is make sure that we offer content warnings for every single game that we play. So, if you need to check the content warnings, there they are. At any point, you can bring them up using !CW. They are also on a timer, so they will show up every once in a while in chat. Allie, hi. Hi, Allie. I love you. Welcome. But yeah, I pretty much exclusively do horror and some mystery because there's a very fine line separating the two. But we offer content warnings for everything. I also have game links. If you are ever interested in checking out the games that we play. Today's game is My Lovely Daughter. It's great. You make homunculi daughters, you do a murder, you try to bring your dead daughter back from the dead. It's not a great explanation of it, but it works.
Travis, I hear you in the shower and I'm
Why is
home.
she so quiet
Don't
today?
let me spook you.
Why is she so quiet today? She was so loud last night. And now she's quiet. Kimmerald. My girl. Whatever. I'll work on her later. Horror? I barely know her. She was, though! She was, like, screaming at us. You can take that out of context all you want. I'm sticking by what I've said. You can't make me go back on that. But yeah, like I said, we're playing this neat game called My Lovely Daughter. We're just trying to bring our daughter back from the dead by making these really precious, lovely ladies, and then casually doing a murder on them. Like you do. We're not winning Dad of the Year anytime soon, but that's okay. it's fine. It's all fine. It's lovely to see you, Shmi. Also, Allie, hi, you're great. What are you doing? How's it going? We're gonna put another joy in there. Oh no. Exclamation quote, space, add. Although, that quote is something else. Yeah, thank you, Travis. Not the gripping and ripping a toddler. I'm glad that we could help just like make things a little more joyful for you. That's what we aim for, even with our, you know, dark content. We can still be happy and wonderful and lovely, even while talking about doing murders. This is fine. This is all fine. But you got this. You got this meeting. You're gonna kick ass. It's gonna be dope. Not even worried about it. I keep checking jobs, but I have no one available to do it. You did add that quote with the toddler. I do remember that. I don't remember what the game was that we were playing at the time. I'm so glad when other people like are really into horror as well. I think it takes people by surprise sometimes when I'm sitting over here being like, let me talk about serial killers and horror movies and stuff. I mean, after I've opened my mouth for longer than 10 seconds, everyone's like, nope, this makes sense, but, thank you for getting that quote in there. I still need to go back and get rid of all the context for the last couple of quotes. We'll make this happen. Also, Inquisitor trusts us. I just got the achievement. Hella! I knew this guy, so I was reluctant to check him out. He was always so lazy, never really trying when he was in the capital. You maybe have to go on a horror movie date with me for our first date to see the new Candyman. I haven't seen it yet! Did you like it? Candyman is one of my all-time favorite movies. And I just haven't had a chance to go see the new one yet. Thoughts? Did you like it? Sam really liked it. Good. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but honestly, a lot of the people that didn't dig it were, like, super white in the not being progressive kind of way. Really liked it. Good. Okay, this makes me feel a lot better about it. I have to check it out sometime soon. We were just, I think just yesterday, I mentioned that we needed to watch it. We do have, I understand that you're busy, and I understand that there's a lot going on, but if you want, we watch horror movies every week in my Discord, on Sundays. We are in the middle of watching the first season of Channel Zero right now, which I think we're gonna finish up this next Sunday, but at some point we will be doing the new Candyman, because I need to see it, and I need everyone else to see it with me. But we also watch a bunch of other stuff. I know that we're gonna watch the original Evil Dead at some point, because we need some more Bruce Campbell in our life. But no, don't drop your phone on your face. Don't do that. But welcome in, friend. How's it going? Perfect. I'm very pleased. This has made my day. I mean, just having everyone here has been delightful and wonderful, but more horror buddies. It's true, everyone does need more Bruce Campbell. Facts, though. But yeah, we do a lot of weird shit in my Discord. Feel free to just hang out and lurk in there. But if you want to do a bunch of stuff with us, we are here. Good on you, Bunno! These are important things to do. I'm glad you had a nap. I hope you're doing all right. I know that those assessments can be extremely taxing. But props to you for getting it done. Bruce is such an ass, but I love him. I mean, yeah. Love him, though. Right? Self-care naps. Very, very good. Okay, I'm gonna finish this because we are getting to the end of stream. Because our afternoon stuff is only a couple of hours. But it's true. Take care of your dang selves. We demand it. Make it happen. Taking care of yourself in whatever way that you need to. Hydrate. Eat a food. Eat a food. Eat some food. Go for a walk if you've got the energy for it. Take a nap if you don't got the energy for it. Play a nice video game for yourself. Wash a dish, maybe? I know that I feel better once I get dishes done, but I also understand that that's not a priority for everyone, and that's okay. Remember, chores are morally ambiguous. You're not a bad person if you don't do them. Gotta emphasize that one a lot. I'm at home to have a lunch and to poop. Not temperamental toilets at work. I'm glad that you live close to work. These are good things. I'm proud of you, Allie. Alright, but yeah, we're gonna finish reading this because we're getting close to the end of stream. This letter is the last letter sent from his wife. He does not want to open it. He fears what he will find inside. Before even touching the letter, I knew that such a coward would do no harm to the capital. I obtained this letter just to make absolutely certain, and to do my job thoroughly, of course. Great. It is week 4. Well, I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Alright. Ugh. Faust is distraught. Tears well in his eyes. He cannot believe that he let his wife die. Glances at his daughter. He swears that he will never leave her to suffer the same fate as her mother. He wipes his tears and focuses again on bringing his daughter back. That's okay, Sam. Get the work done. You will feel so much better once you've gotten it done.
2 quarters to prove my eternal love.
That's 2 more quarters than you need to prove your eternal love to me, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Sam, you're perfect and amazing and wonderful, and you got this. You're gonna get all this stuff done, and then you're not gonna have to worry about it. And it's gonna be great. And you got this. Do the thing. Alright. He wipes his tears and focuses on bringing his daughter back. It is time to do a quick thing. 1,000 gold. We're gonna do it. We'll make it happen. That would require them to perform under pressure, and they don't do that. No, you, Sam. Just gonna get the trust meter up there. We have a request to do, so let's go ahead and fill that out. We love you. We'll see you later. We do have a letter from Vicnant. Hello, Vicnant. I enjoyed playing with you. I do not know why, but my sisters do not want to be so close to me. Maybe it's because they are small and weak, but I will not hurt them. I just wish for them, or wish for more company. Vicnant? Vicnant? Oh my god, everyone needs to stop knocking on my dang door. Good day, Faust. Do you come with a task for me? I have no time for small talk today, so I will make it quick. The gardener will have trouble with crows. Be ready with a homunculus that can scare those blackbirds away. We gotta make a crow friend. Okay, let's check this first. We need to treat the body because it is decaying. Whoopsies. And we need joy and fear. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, the other 2 are fine. So we need to get rid of Raode. I'm sorry, my sweet little scissor darling. She's not the worst. None of them are the worst. We love all of them. And then we need to get rid of a happy one. Art is level 5. Borky is level 7. Goodbye, Borky. She's always jumping from one place to another. Her movements irritated him, and he could not wait to kill her. Now the moment has come. He stabs her to death and feels happiness at seeing her jumping stop. But she's precious. But they're all precious. Okay, let's check the levels of our affinities. 670, 585. Are you... Hey, Arcade, you okay? Hey, Arcade, you cool? Are you alright? I assume you're trying to say I love you, Borky. Miss all of our lovely children. Same! They were all perfect. Joy's where it needs to be. We need sadness between 485 and 785. And it's great. It's where it needs to be. Anger is at 625, which is a little high, but it is within the range that we need it to be in. 397, 697 for fear. 397, 697. Fear is fine. This is perfect. Missed a few keys. Just a couple. I do miss Slagathor. I'm sorry that I forgot that she existed. I cannot help it. We need to try and infuse this soul. Let's go. Yes, I'm sure. Let's go. Let's go. Make it happen. Please and thank you. Please. Do the thing. The girl is alive and well, however, it seems that her mind is divided into several consciousnesses, all of which vie for control. She constantly appears to be arguing with herself. We've done this before. This is the same. Did that. Book says that I have to infuse a soul with one dominant affinity. Fuck. Yeah, no, I get it, but... No... What a waste. I didn't realize that we didn't have one that was higher than the others. That's a problem. Okay, well that's a future us problem. Right, heartbroken. It was all for nothing. I was so busy trying to, like, make sure that we had all of the right levels for affinities that I just forgot to check for anything. But that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of the game. Because it is time for us to end. It is 2:02 in the afternoon. And I got stuff I gotta do. And by that, I mean absolutely nothing to do. But we have a schedule to uphold. So, that's all I've got for today. Well, for this afternoon, I should say, we will be back this evening with more In Sound Mind, which I'm very excited to get back to. I've really been enjoying that game. Yeah, we've had so many good games lately, and it's just got me very excited and very happy about everything. So yeah, more In Sound Mind this evening at 6 p.m. Central. Be there if you wanna check it out with us. Until then, though, let's set up a raid so we can say hi to our friends. I've got 3 people on at the moment. We've got the Just Ryan doing Dead by Daylight, Emageddon doing some Spyro the Dragon, Ghost Panda is the Just Ryan just went offline. So we've got 2 people on. Emageddon doing Spyro the Dragon, Ghost Panda doing some RimWorld. Do either of those sound good? Does anyone have any recommendations for someone to go or for someone that we should go raid? Thank you for being here, Arcade. It's always delightful to have you around. I don't know why I said that so quiet, but I did. If no one has any strong feelings about who we go raid, we can go say hi to Ghost Panda. I'm glad you were able to stop binge me. Honestly, it's wonderful to have you here. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Excuse me. Right back at you, though. Let's go hang out with Ghost Panda. Not me trying to figure out what's going on or what I'm doing. This is fine. Above, we do have all of the raid messages. The first one is for anyone. If you're not a subscriber, it's got global emotes in it, so you can use those and still have a fun time doing the raid with us. Otherwise, the second one has our personal emotes in them. Good little octos, little sexy octos. It's fine. Like I said, I'll be back this evening with some more In Sound Mind. Very excited for that. But until then, take care of your dang selves. I love you. It's wonderful to see all of you. And we'll see y'all next time. Goodbye, my friends.